Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the December 3rd, 2024 Hamilton Township Council meeting to order. This meeting is being held with the benefit of public notice as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Papero?
Here.
Ms. Phillips?
Here.
Mr. Whalen?
Present.
Mr. Ty?
Here.
Mr. Carabelli?
Here.
Okay, all present.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's please rise and join in this salute to the flag, and please remain standing for the invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we give thanks for the many blessings you have given us this year. As we approach the holiday season, please help us to focus on the things that truly matter and to let go of any worries or concerns. Help us to enjoy this time with our loved ones and to make lasting memories. As always, bless this township, and may we as a government represent the best interest of our community. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Before we get into this evening's agenda, I just wanted to make note on several amendments to the agenda since it was posted on the website. First up, we have an amendment to Resolution 4, which is on your, hopefully on your agenda packets, 24-446. This is a resolution of Hamilton Township, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, supporting Natural Apothecary LLC's application to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission for a Class II cannabis manufacturer license. CA 124-416. This is a resolution authorizing transfers in the calendar year 2024 municipal budget in the amount of $1,405,000. Removed from the agenda this evening is CA 30, which is 24-445. This is a resolution authorizing the person-to-person transfer of ABC Alcohol Beverage Control License 1103-33-030 from GEP Italian Restaurant Spiegola to PJ Hospitality LLC Spiegola. And there's also one additional item to this evening's agenda, CA 33, 24-449. This is a resolution authorizing transfers in the calendar year 2024 sewer budget in the total amount of $500,000. Can I please have a motion on the amendments to the agenda this evening?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
And Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Madam Clerk, that brings us to communications.
On communications, we have C1, a receipt of documentation for the corporate structure change to alcoholic beverage license 1103-44-016-006 Bahavina and Jill Incorporated, trading as Greenwood Wine and Liquor, and they're replacing one officer for another.
Any comments, questions? Can I get a motion?
Council President, I move communication C1.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
And Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Next up is resolutions.
Okay, Resolution 1 is 24-413, resolution naming Brittany Radis Calderon as acting deputy municipal clerk for the meetings of the Hamilton Township Council on December 3rd, 2024 and December 17th, 2024.
Any council comments?
No.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution number 2, 24-414.
Normally do. All right.
Oh,
Don't we normally?
You have to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So,
We need to back
So
up.
should we back up to that resolution? Yeah.
Okay.
Any comments from the public on resolution 24-413? Now that we approved it.
Do the vote again, just to make it clear.
All right.
Council President, seeing no members of the public wishing to comment, I move that we close the public comment portion and move Resolution 24-413.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Reparo.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Mr. Whalen.
Yes.
Mr. Ty.
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli.
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Okay. Now on to Resolution 24-414, resolution of Hamilton Township, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, supporting Cultural Hamilton LLC's application to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission for a Class 1 cannabis cultivator license and/or a Class 2 manufacturer license.
Any comments or questions regarding this particular resolution?
Mr.
Any-
President, is there anybody here?
Yeah, anyone here from the... This is 24-414. This is for Kultur?
Yeah,
Just your name and
sure.
would be helpful.
First name is Aditya, last name is Pepina, and my family's actually been property owners in this town since 2016.
Okay.
My brother owns the Cedar Gardens facility.
Okay.
Along with the By Right Liquors. My family also owns the By Right Liquors franchise for the whole state. My father's the owner. And then we also own a property with the Quick Check over on, what road is that? Not
Bolden?
Bridge, but,
Sloan?
no, not on Sloan, sorry.
Broad?
Olden.
Probably
Olden.
It's hit my memory, but
thinking where the Quick Checks
with the
are.
Marber and Curtains shop and,
Broad Street.
Oh, Broad Street.
yeah, Broad
Yes,
Street,
yes.
sorry, yeah,
That's okay.
3695 Broad Street. My brother owns that property as well, and then my father bought this property, 3690 Quakers Bridge, 2 years ago, basically to retrofit the old Japanese restaurant that was there. And we were actually working on renovations for that, trying to find a tenant. And then, a lot of cannabis users started, coming up and looking at our property and thought it was an ideal use. And we're also, we're looking at that use as well because I'm an investor up in Plainfield with Culture Plainfield. We actually got a resolution up there in October. The township actually picked us as the redevelopers up there, me and my partner John, who couldn't make it today. He tore his hamstring over the weekend, so
Oh, gosh.
unfortunately he couldn't be here. But and also we've teamed up with Common Citizen, which is one of the largest operators out of Michigan. They've got 86 locations in Michigan, so they're going to be the operators. I'm going to be more involved with more management of the property and things like that. But we've already secured financing from the bank as well, Manasquan Savings Bank. They currently hold the loan for the current property, but we're going to basically pay it off, and they're going to give us a fresh loan along with construction financing as well for the building fit out, not for the operation of the dispensary, but for the building itself. Because obviously banks can't get involved with that, Yeah.
So both 24-414, which we're on right now, but also 415. So we had to separate out. We discussed this. The cultivation and the manufacturing license, along with the support for that, along with the retail license.
Yes.
I want to compliment you on your presentation that was given because I thought it was very transparent on the staffing that is going to be done at the location. So now the next step. Tell me a little bit about what the plan is going forward.
Sure. So there's already an existing building on site. It's about roughly 6,000 square feet on each level. There's also a basement level as well, because we used to have dining on both floors. So the initial plan is just to occupy only the first floor. That'll be the retail dispensary. That'll be kind of phase one. And then the property has 4 acres. So we've got a lot of land there available for increased parking. We think we have enough land there to build another facility for cultivation, whether it's an indoor or outdoor greenhouse. We can work with the township on that, along with manufacturing as well. Indoor, yeah.
Indoor.
So yeah, indoor.
I didn't know it went back that far. I'm surprised it was
Yeah,
4
I
acres.
Yeah, 4 acres. And if you look at the map, we're really surrounded by, I think it's like a pet spa on one side,
Right.
some kind of a electronic supply on one side, and then the back is totally industrial. So what's nice about this property is there's no homes around. So I think very little disturbance. And to me, it makes perfect sense because it's in a commercial area, which makes sense because, you're traveling on that road. And I think very little disturbance to the community and residents mostly. Yeah.
Excellent. Any questions from my council colleagues on this property?
There's no houses in the area that's, nothing else in the ordinance that we're going to violate?
I believe our zoning folks already checked it out and make sure, that's what we usually do before it comes to you.
Yeah, I just didn't see anything in the backup material first that said that.
Let me just pull up the map.
I drive past it every day, so I'm happy to see that there's redevelopment going in there too. I've been waiting for been sitting there for a while. But I
What
don't
is that
recall
currently
any.
zoned? Is that highway?
That's Quaker Ridge
Quaker
Road.
Ridge
I think it's
Road.
Quaker Ridge
Is
Plaza
it-
right across the street.
But
Yeah.
is it, Jody, is that zoned highway commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
I think we just, yeah.
Oh, no, that's true.
So Young's Road is, I guess, to the east, right? The intersection of Young's Road is to the east. So there are housing on the south side of Quaker Ridge Road, but it's across the street and behind commercial. So remember, there's a bank
The bank
on
on
the
the
corner of
corner.
Young's and
Princeton Bank.
Quaker Bridge.
Yep.
And then there's a whole commercial building with like a
Bank
dentist
of
and so
Princeton.
forth. So there's housing behind it, but they're pretty far away. And then the only other thing, and I know that there
Behind
is-
it?
Remember, we were looking
Across from it.
for another applicant off of Thomas Road Industrial, and there was a daycare, but that's back far enough away too. So, I don't think that, from a zoning point of view, there's much of a problem at all.
I think that's the only question we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family obviously has the background of work in a very regulated industry, so, we've been doing it for over 30 years now.
They're just trying to make sure there's no houses or anything that
Of
would
course.
violate,
Because we had one property that was close by that we had to do we tabled it because of the concern of being in close proximity to potentially a preschool of
Yeah,
some sort.
which makes sense, yeah, because liquor
And
stores are the same
it
way.
didn't, it was just outside that area,
The
so,
parameters.
yep.
Yeah, those on a NAMI. Yeah.
Yeah, no, again, any housing that exists would be on sort of Deacon Drive, which is behind the commercial. So if you're going down Quaker Bridge and his property is to the right, on the left, there's commercial University Office Plaza too, right? Behind them, there is a residential road.
It's University
Yeah,
Heights.
it's
backside of Deacon
Yeah,
Drive.
yep.
Yeah.
But,
That's the other side of Quaker Bridge.
yeah,
From
the other-
Yeah,
right,
across the street, yeah.
right.
Yeah, behind us is industrial property.
Yes.
probably a good 100 yards
Yeah.
away.
At least, yes.
All right.
Sure. First name is Aditya, A as in Apple, D as in David, I, T as in Tom, H-Y-A. Last name is Bathina, like Bath, B-A-T-H, and then E-N-A.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have no further questions. Anyone else from? Okay.
On my side.
I'm just going to open it up to the public
Sure.
and see if there's any
Of course.
questions. Thank you for your quick presentation. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the public regarding this resolution? Okay. Seeing
Seeing
none?
no comment from the public, I move to close the public portion and move on resolution number 2, 24-414.
Can I have a second?
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Reparo,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Whalen,
Yes.
Mr. Ty.
I'm going to abstain due to my work with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority.
Mr. Carabelli.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution 24-415, resolution of Hamilton Township, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey supporting Cultural Hamilton LLC's application to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission for a Class 5 retail license.
No, any questions from my council? This is just the retail portion. Any
What's the
questions?
building you're going to utilize for retail, the front section of it, I guess?
I think the first
Yeah, yeah.
floor,
Yeah.
you said?
It's not going to be the entire thing. The 6,000 square feet's a large space, so
Space.
we're probably going to use the front portion of it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions from the public? Seeing none?
Mr. Reparo?
I'll make
We
a
need a
motion.
Oh, sorry, we didn't get the motion.
I'll second the motion.
I'll make the motion to close the public comment portion and move resolution 24-415.
5.
Can I have a second?
415, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Got it.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Abstain.
Abstain, and Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Okay, passes 4-1. Resolution 24-446, resolution of Hamilton Township, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, supporting Natural Apothecary LLC's
You can sit down, I'm sorry.
application to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission for a Class 2 cannabis manufacturer's license.
Now, this resolution is just a change to the name, correct? To Natural Apothecary LLC from
It's
Kayla 6638. So that's all that's happening here. Any questions from my council colleagues?
No, sir.
From the public on Resolution 4? Seeing none?
Seeing no further any public comment, I'll move to close public comment and move on Resolution 424-446.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Pepero.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Mr. Whalen.
Yes.
Mr. Ty.
I'll be abstaining.
Mr. Carabelli.
Yes.
4-1. Okay, on to consent agenda.
So, Madam Clerk, I just had a quick question. So this is now, we've removed CA 30, which was the ABC license transfer,
Yes.
and we have added CA 33, which was the sewer budget transfers.
Yes.
So we're up to 30, a total of 32.
Total of 33.
Right, okay. Just to give a quick summary regarding this evening's consent agenda, we have some, well, you heard about the one transfer, which is the latest addition to the consent agenda, but there also, CA1 talks about a transfer in the calendar budget on the municipal side of things. We also have a couple grants, one for Municipal Alliance grant, another one was Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over grant. Those amounts are there as well. We have added a vendor to our software provider list through our state list, property plot or pilot. We also have several sculpture loan agreements with Grounds for Sculpture. We also have several items that you'll notice, CA7, I believe, through CA15, which are health services agreements with various municipalities. We have Ewing, Princeton, Lawrence, East Windsor, Hightstown, West Windsor, Hopewell, and the fee schedule is also listed with those in the backup material. We have Van Cleef Engineer, who is completing some work for the Yardville-Groveville Force Main Rehab Project. That's up to $66,000, roughly. We have some recreation equipment, over $200,000 that we're purchasing with Pacerno Giordano Construction at the Homedale building site. This is funded through grant monies, the American Rescue Plan Act dollars, and hopefully some additional grant funding for this project. We have several, we're being a little bit more proactive this year. We're putting some professional service agreements that you'll notice in place before the next calendar year. We have PSAs for special project architects, which set to some, thresholds on the amounts. We also have professional service agreements with special project engineering firms. We have one for CME for licensed tree expert, and Suppley Clooney, who will conduct our auditing services for 2025. There's also the purchase of a Chevy Tahoe from the capital budget of 2021 for the fire division in roughly a little less than $80,000. We have several refunds on the consent agenda this evening. Refunds for ABC license, for 2024 taxes, for various locations throughout the facilities throughout the township. We also have release of performance grantee bonds, performance bonds on various projects throughout the town. That gives everyone a good summary of what, that doesn't, put in consideration of all the items that are on the agenda, but I just wanted to give that quick overview of what we have on our consent agenda this evening. Any questions from my council colleagues regarding the consent agenda?
Good review.
Thank you.
I just had one. The cargo van for animal transport, is that to add or is that replacing? Do you know? It's
32.
Oh, 32.
Yeah.
I'll see it, hold on.
Courtney, I'm going to be abstaining on CA 22.
Hold on one moment.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
catch
I
that.
should have had it in my notes. Replace one of the aging ACO trucks. So
Okay.
this is a replacement, and this is coming from the 2020 Capital and Dog Trust.
Thank you.
Most of it is funded, 75,000 is funded through the capital, and $28,418 is funded through the trust account.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else with questions? Good question. Anyone else anyone from the public wishing to comment or have a question regarding this evening's consent agenda? Yes, Janice.
Janice Clark, 432 Trinity Avenue, Cornell Heights. Okay, we have a lot of health things with 8 different townships. Now, is that because we're the head honchos, or they all depend on us, or are we sharing things with them and go to them, or everybody coming to us?
It's if individuals from those towns come into our facility, we set up a fee schedule for those individuals, and so this happens on an annual basis that we put these agreements in place with the various municipalities. We just did it a little earlier than when from what I remember doing. We usually start, the beginning of the year, we'll have these agreements in place. But yes, it's them coming to us, from my understanding, right?
We're good.
Yeah.
And then we charge them.
Then we charge them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Towns, they make good on whatever business comes from their town.
Oh,
And it's because we have a full-fledged, very well working health department, and some of the other towns don't have the same staffing and aren't able to meet all of the needs, specifically for some of the, very specific clinics that they do and that type of thing, so.
oh, wow. Most impressive.
STD
So you have
testing.
you have hepatitis B vaccines, you have STD clinical services, you have flu and pneumonia, you have blood lead investigations, child health conferences, health education services, assessment planning and implementation. So all these different services that we have allocated in a fee. We have described in a fee schedule for certain clinical services for each of these municipalities.
Oh, wow, very
So-
impressive. Do we have the air conditioning on?
I looked at Pat.
I called it.
It's probably my fault.
Guys, it's a method to our madness.
We have some hot councilmen, let me tell you.
Hey,
Okay.
it's not often I hear that.
The back one's on.
It's the back one that's on, yeah.
Want to turn it off?
Yeah.
Want to turn it off?
No, it's the one in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Stop the blowing.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to comment from the public? That you've been frozen out? No, I'm joking. Can I have a motion, please?
All right, let's see if we get this right.
Close the public comment portion and move on the consent agenda items CA1 through CA33.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Abstaining on CA22 and yes on everything else from CA1 to CA33.
And Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Okay, all passing 5-1, but CA 22, 4-1 with the abstention of Mr. Ty. Now we are on to second reading and public hearing ordinances. Ordinance number 24-046, ordinance amending and supplementing the ordinance fixing the salaries and other compensation of officials and employees of the Township of Hamilton in the County of Mercer and the State of New Jersey.
So just a little bit of background on this. This is an ordinance on second reading regarding specific titles, specific unclassified civil service titles. We are decreasing the range on certain positions. One is the municipal clerk title. The other one is the tax assessor. The other one is the tax collector. So these have specific ranges allotted to them. The bottom number is getting reduced for those three categories. So it went from 110 to 95,000. So that's basically the resolution and the ordinance in a nutshell. So anyone else wishing to comment? Anyone from the okay. Okay. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on this?
Excuse me.
God bless
Thank you.
Bless you. Seeing no comment from the public?
Mr. Papero?
Wait,
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Council President, seeing no members of the public wishing to comment, I move that we close the public comment portion and move ordinance 23-048 on second reading.
Second motion.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
46.
We're six. We're on the first one.
Excuse me.
Yeah, 046.
46.
I'll still second it.
Thank you.
Just wanted to make sure we're doing numbers.
Those
Yeah,
glasses
I'm
back
I'm
on,
looking
right?
at...
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Okay, Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Oh, that's
Yes.
why.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance number 2, 24-047. Ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 228, Fire Prevention. This is second reading and public hearing.
Oh, listen, you want to give a little bit of a background on this one?
Sure. Scott McCormick, our inspector, came to us and asked to add some of these changes. A lot of it is about the fire lanes and how they need to be designed so that our apparatus can actually access the buildings. It's signage, it's striping on the roads. So again, it clarifies and further details responsibilities of property owners so that.
It expands it beyond shopping centers.
Yes.
So that we can have fire lanes at commercial properties other than just shopping centers. So at the fire marshal's discretion.
And also a lockbox, talk about a lockbox. So it's makes it safer for everyone.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to comment? Thank you, Elizabeth. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on this ordinance on second reading? Seeing none?
Seeing no public comment, I move to close the public comment and move on ordinance 2, 24-047.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance number 3, 24-048. Ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of Ordinances, Hamilton Township, New Jersey, Chapter 215, Fees, Municipal Clerk. This is second reading and public hearing.
And so this ordinance on second reading is for the commercial filming and/or still photography permits that we never had really a process in place or a fee structure in place for things like this. But New Jersey we've seen films, we've seen motion pictures, we've seen documentaries, all done here in New Jersey. So we wanted to get ahead of that. So this is an ordinance that allows us to do that. We are now a township that is designated as film ready. So this specific ordinance sets up the fee schedule for daily filming fees and other fee schedules that I'm looking at right now. So any questions from my colleagues here on the dais?
No.
Any questions from the public? Seeing none?
Council President, I move that we close the public portion and move on ordinance number 324-048.
Second motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
And Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance number 4, 24-049. Ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Part 3, Land Use Legislation, Chapter 550, Land Development, Article 3, District Regulations, RRC, Rural Resource Conservation, and R25, Single Family Residential Districts, and R15, R10, R7, and R5, Single Family Residential Districts. This is second reading and public hearing.
This basically is adding to the residential districts that were mentioned by Madam Clerk, cottage food operators, which is the ability to produce food in your home and then sell it at various fairs, PTA events, things like that. So this just gives us, allows that under this particular code of the Township of Hamilton. So any questions from my colleagues on this
No, sir.
ordinance?
No, the one thing I think is important to know about the New Jersey cottage food law is that it limits the amount of food that can be sold through this to 50,000 per year. So this is really for those small business operators.
That's a lot of brownies.
That's a lot of brownies.
Yeah. Good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing none?
Council President, I make the motion to close the public comment portion and move ordinance 24049 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
And Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. On to ordinance number 5, 24-050. Ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Part 2, General Legislation, Chapter 485, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Traffic Regulations, Speed Limits.
Alyssa, tell me if I'm wrong, or Kathy, but this was a small change to Old York Road, correct? On this ordinance, changing it to 40 miles per hour. I guess it was at 50 before?
I think it was at
50.
Yeah.
I think it was. So this
Or
is,
it was as fast as people drove.
There was
So
no.
we're trying to bring the speed down.
yes. So this is from Church Street to Extonville Road along Old York. That's basically what this is amending in this ordinance. So any questions?
No.
Anyone from the public wishing to comment? I have a question. Okay.
Council President, seeing no members of the public wishing to comment, I move that we close the public comment portion and move ordinance 24-050 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Now we're on to first reading and introduction. Ordinance number 1, 24-051. Ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 485, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking. Handicap parking, this is repealing spaces established at 84 Marshall Avenue West by ordinance number 15-010.
Council President, I move ordinance 24-051 on first reading.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance number 2, 24-052. Ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 485, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking. Handicap parking, this is establishing spaces for 36 Annabelle Avenue, 19 Fitzrandolph Avenue, 105 Francis Avenue, 70 Reed Avenue, 339 Schiller Avenue, and 1854 South Broad Street.
Council President, I move ordinance 2-24052 on first reading.
I'll second it.
Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Reparo.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance number 3, 24-053. Ordinance accepting a deed of public access easement, a deed of site triangle easement number 1, and a deed of site triangle easement number 2 for 2144 East State Road Industrial LLC, 2144 East State Street, Block 1588, a portion of Lot 4, formerly Lots 3 and 4.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion on 24053 on first reading and introduction.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Reparo.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. On to comments from the public.
Thank you. Yeah. Bob Nagy is up first. Thank you, Mr. Nagy.
I'm going to thank everybody being so kind to at least listen to my story. You're probably going to hear it for the second time, if not more, from Mr. Patero, when I walked in. My name is Robert Nagy, and I live at 70 Reed Avenue. I'm a 75-year-old young individual, and I've been on Reed Avenue since 1980. As time has passed, I've done pretty well physically, but I do have COPD, which limits me from walking more than about a half a block without having to stop, catch my breath, or hope that a very attractive young lady comes and gives me mouth to mouth, because it has become some of an issue. Throw in all those little goodies that come along with old age, and when I greet people now, as they ask me, this is the time that's supposedly your golden age, and I said it's not gold, it's rust. It's the little things that start nibbling. I have a neck problem where I can't turn my head, et cetera, et cetera. So, no, I've given you the background, and the reason I do that is when I moved into Reed Avenue, it is a one-way street. It intersects actually Lalor Street, which is very busy, and then Bow Hill. The second part of Reed, on the other side of Bow Hill, is a two-way street. So what has begun to happen is a couple of things have changed, including myself. One is that we now have a couple of school buses, okay? People, I guess, pick up their young, they're working for the bus company, so they park on the street. On the corner, what used to be Nate's Pub and closed down for a number of years, now has, and I don't know what you would actually call it, it has reopened, but it's people standing out on the street selling different products and produce and things of that nature. So the street has become very, very busy. My biggest concern is that I have tried to be a good neighbor to my neighbor. He runs his business, and I can't say he runs it out of his house. Now, we have two adjoining driveways, but he has a number of vehicles. They're all oversized, okay, because he does roofing, and we've had everything from 18-wheelers literally pulled down his driveway to, on a constant basis, okay, his pickup trucks. Now, they're all oversized pickups. So he'll pull down his driveway, and there may be 3 or 4 vehicles in his driveway. When I submitted my application for handicap parking, which is the reason what I'm requesting, is that I have tried, first I did it the incorrect way. I put a little cone outside, which my neighbors managed to call the Hamilton police, and they were very nice and told me that was illegal, and I said, yes, I understand that. But they also recommended that what I might try and do is to put a little sign up, okay, in front of my house, so that, and I've spoken to all my neighbors, and I've asked them, listen, if you park halfway, I can park halfway. I'll be a little across my driveway, but I can always get into my house with all of the traffic that's on the street. That lasted a little while, sometimes not a little while at all. People park dead center, so that whole parking space gets taken away. So I'm kind of left with having to go the legalese way, which is requesting a handicapped parking in front of my house, so that I can come home and not have to worry about whether there's 5 vehicles parked on my neighbor's driveway. I've been told I should go to zoning, but I don't want to do that. He's my neighbor. He's not violating anything in the respect that, he's taking my property. What has happened, though, is that when I drive down my driveway, most of the way, I can't open my door. If I drive down forward and I open my door, I'm hitting the side of my house. I submitted a whole portfolio of pictures, and I actually let Mr. Papero take a look at them when we came in. And you can't open a door and step out without hitting the side of the house. If I try and back down the driveway, I save my house, but I smash into my neighbor's vehicles that are parked there. And again, I have pictures that show, he's parked there. He's got his door open. Now, he also uses his house, obviously, for a residence. So what he'll end up doing...
You know what, I'm sorry to cut you off. I have to give someone else another chance to come up for 4 minutes.
I'm sorry, I didn't know...
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So for instance, sir, and it sounds to me, right, so you applied for a handicapped spot.
Correct.
Which tonight we just approved on the...
First reading.
Correct.
Right, so at the next meeting, the 17th, will be the final approval. If it's voted in, you'll have your handicapped spot. Basically, you're surrendering your driveway almost, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but you'll have, so I think were you under the assumption that you're going to have a problem getting the handicap spot?
I was told
As
that...
the ordinance tonight was read, it was approved on the first reading.
Right, well, I was told that it might be a problem because I have a driveway.
Right.
And that it's frequently it's not approved.
Hang on.
The patrolman actually told me, who came out, and the people down at the Hamilton Police said that, you're asking for some extenuating circumstances. So the best thing you can do is to talk to folks rather than just handing in an application.
Yes.
And, hoping for the best. And that's why I put together that portfolio with the pictures and the doctor notes and things of that nature. And since I haven't had to do this before, again, I implore you to kind of
you're fine.
Where do we stand?
Yeah.
So that's not written in any rule of that, but I know in the past, when there's been some applications that have come in for this type of thing, there was consideration that if they had a driveway, it wasn't always approved. Now, again, there could be extenuating circumstances for any application. I think that's why they leave it pretty well up to, you as a council to decide.
Tonight, we voted to move on first reading to establish the parking space.
Correct.
Nothing changes between this meeting and the next meeting, correct?
Correct, unless, but you
And
all
unless we
have a free vote,
unless we
that's
decide
right.
because he has a driveway that we
Right.
deny, which obviously we passed it under first reading tonight.
Right.
So I'm just trying to save the gentleman time from going back and forth.
I
So-
hear you.
And
You're
normally,
right.
He's got a good presentation.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Mr. Nagy?
I do appreciate it because this is the highlight of my social life now.
Well, you
Gonna
can
become
come
a regular?
anytime.
Yep,
6:30, we're here.
we're
I'm
here.
sorry, sir.
No, my question to you is, if we were to approve this space in front of your property, would that be what you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking for,
Okay,
sir, yes.
okay, that's all I wanted to ask. Go ahead, Councilman Ty.
I'm okay.
The floor is yours.
I'm okay.
All right.
I have another question. You sure you don't want to go? So, that's great. That's, what hopefully works out in your favor. My issue is the commercial vehicles in the driveway. Do they go to zoning or to the police? Because I understand it's his neighbor and he doesn't want to complain. However, it is creating a difficulty in the neighborhood.
Yep.
And he's losing the use of his driveway
Right.
that he pays for and that he owns. So if it needs to go somewhere, can we get it?
Complaint doesn't have to come from anybody, but now we know, so I've already written it down and have the address.
Thank you.
So we're good.
You write everything down. I already
Yes.
named it.
Thank you.
But you
All right.
get along with your neighbor.
I'm sorry.
You get along
Get
with,
along with your neighbor.
Much better now. When he moved in, he was a younger gentleman, and we didn't get it along so well, because as an older homeowner, well, I don't have to go into detail. You could probably understand.
I get it.
Okay. Now, should I come, this is my last question, I'm sorry to tie up your time. Do I come to the next meeting, or?
you're welcome to come to our next meeting, but,
Well,
I think.
especially since it's on your social calendar, Mr. Nagel.
Yeah, right?
Come
Well,
on.
it used to
But
say
no, you
party,
probably
now
don't
it
have
says
to.
You don't have
Dr.
to.
A,
There's no-
Dr. B,
I
and
mean-
Dr. C.
Yeah, there's no,
You probably don't have to.
yeah, there's no,
Okay. And is it 2 readings and 3 readings before final?
And then it takes some time for it to pass, and then...
That's fine,
And then ultimately, it goes to, if it's passed, it goes back to the police and
Right.
the permit's issued.
well, I'm
Typically-
still seeing the green side of the grass. I'm very thankful for your time, and I'm sorry.
No, you're
to
fine.
take it up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and typically, the police, it reaches our agenda because the police have looked at it and recommended it.
Yes, correct.
And just so you know, I've never voted against a handicap parking spot that the police have recommended that we pass. So, I think you're safe at the next meeting.
Yeah,
Is he the only one on there?
yes. Anyone else wishing to speak? Thank you, Mr. Nagy. Anyone else? Lisa?
Good evening, Lisa Williams, Briner Lane. We're approaching the time period when the kennels are going to be recoded at the shelter, and according to the website, we're up to at least 40 dogs. Do we have placement for all of the dogs that need to get out of the kennels that we're going to recoat?
Yes, it's still ongoing that they're doing that, but I think that they have accommodations
Okay.
for all of the animals that need to be displaced for,
Okay.
I think it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, they said 2 weeks. They're
Give or
doing one
take 2
side, 1
weeks.
week.
But in addition to that, we tried to do a special drive for fosters, even just for the 2-week time period, so that we didn't have to find, other institutionalized homes for the animals that need to be displaced. And so I don't know, I haven't gotten an update today as to if they had any foster takers. But again, and the number may change between now and when they actually have to move them,
Yeah,
but it won't change
likely
significantly.
you're still going to need to find placement for 20 because you're at
Yes.
40 right now.
That's correct.
And there's 20 kennels you're redoing. So
Yep.
those are probably, I just want to make sure we don't have any dogs at risk because we
No.
are doing kennels and there is no place for the dog to go. That's the reason I asked.
That's correct. And this will bring the kennels up to code, to regulation, because with the peeling paint, they are not within
Oh, I know.
regulations. So.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that everyone is safe and
Yep.
not at risk because we're
We
doing
got a
kennels.
report today that has been being worked on,
Okay.
and they have enough space for all of the animals that need to be displaced.
Okay, thank you. That's
All
all.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes, Janice. Thank you. Super.
Janice Glanick, 432 Trinity Avenue, Cornell Heights. In regard to this gentleman's problem, when they have the handicap part, since the street seems to be so loaded, is it marked off so that people just don't, just because it's there, they say, well, I can park a little further into there? I mean, he'll still have room, it's partitioned so that they know it's just for him?
Just for him. It'll be in front of his house. And clearly designated that says handicap parking.
And they do designate an area specifically for that, and I think they put up a sign as well eventually, so
And
They
it'll
like
paint
marked
it,
out
they
how-
put up the
Yes.
sign.
It's just like where you would go anywhere else that had designated handicap parking. And you can only park there if you have that designation, and in this case, you can only park there if you live there, so.
Oh, okay. I mean, he's going to all this trouble.
I know.
That's that problem. Okay, I've seen quite a bit of it, and I assume it's illegal, but I don't know. People blow their leaves into the street, just blow them across the street. That's not legal, is it?
No.
Because, I mean, I was
believe so.
coming down East State
Yeah.
Street Extension, Nottingham, where a lady saw his church was making a left, and there was a guy in those 3 houses blowing his leaves across the street to the businesses that are on the other side. And then today, when I was going to school, somebody on 33 was blowing their leaves across across all 3 lanes and all the. I'm thinking that's not supposed to be proper, is it?
No.
No, it shouldn't happen that way. That's why we have leaf pickup in front of your home.
Right.
In front of your home.
Yeah.
So, so that's basically illegal for people to do that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, just I thought, it's not very nice that the guy across the street's now getting all the leaves, and plus all the leaves in the street look so attractive. Okay, just curious.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now, I can't say how much it's in, that's enforced because it doesn't happen frequently, but, yeah, you're not going to enforce that, but
Unless you have somebody driving
Tr-
around
we're looking for that.
and you don't have that.
yes, yes. Anyone else?
Ordinance 420-28, if anyone's really curious.
420-48?
28.
28. Okay. Anyone else? Seeing no further comments, my council colleagues, I'll start off with Councilman Papero.
Oh, do we have to give a second chance, Mr. Nagy?
Oh, I think,
Or is
Mr.
he-
Nagy, you're good, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Councilman?
Welcome everybody back from Thanksgiving, and holiday seasons are coming up. So I just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy. And
Thank you.
one more meeting until the end of the year, and say thank you to you for your leadership this year. I know it's not easy, but we appreciate the work you put in.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman.
Everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks.
I like to say ditto, but I can't, so. No, but I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. You know, it's that time of year where you spend a lot of time with your family, your friends, and, you know, be safe while you're doing it and enjoy it. And like Councilman Paparo said, next meeting will be our president's last meeting at the helm, and thank you for your leadership this year, Anthony. As always, you're always well prepared, and appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony, for your leadership this year. I hope to see everybody on this Friday
Yeah.
for the Christmas tree lighting. And otherwise, happy holidays, everybody.
I would like to say ditto. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really want to say thank you for your leadership this year and all the hard work you put in to explain everything so detailed to the public and to us and help us out.
Thank you.
And I also just hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And to me, that's my favorite holiday because there's no gifting stress. It's just about being with my friends and family. So I hope everyone had a good one. And I'm really excited for the tree lighting on Friday. And then we have Winter Wonderland Friday and Saturday. And then it'll be drive-through until the end of the year, I believe. Yes. So I just invite you out to see Winter Wonderland. It's definitely one of my favorite events. And I hope you have a good night.
Wow, I'm already getting some thanks for this year, and I still got one more left. No,
Popular.
No, I just want to just compliment. I want to thank though the Public Works employees. Chuck Thomas's team did a really nice job regarding leaf pickup, but also decorating the municipal building in the town. And I'm sure they're doing a phenomenal job. I haven't gone past the park, but I'm sure it's going to look beautiful for Winter Wonderland. But thank you, all of you. Look forward to our next meeting, which is December 17th. Tuesday's December 17th. And hopefully we can not get too stressed about the holiday season. Just focus on what's most important. That's to be with family and friends. So thank you all for coming out this evening, and I appreciate your involvement in our government. Thank you.
Good job.